Good evening, everybody. I think we're going to get underway. My name's Daniel Gidney. I'm the Chief Executive at Lancashire Cricket Club. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you so much for making the time to come out in your evening after the game today for this cricket forum. Really appreciate it. I know you all have busy lives, but it's really important. And you know, you get a lot of people, particularly on social media, who talk about how important the county championship is. But you know what? Words are cheap, and what I've been really pleased with is today we had over 1,600 people actually in watching the county championship, and that's a big number for us. We don't normally get that number, so I wanted to thank you and everybody who physically came out and attended today. You have no idea what it means to all the players. You know, it's a tough schedule, and the cricketers, the team, and Dane will say it and Glenn will say it, they really appreciate when you come out and support in person, and particularly with the quality of the stream now, it's really easy just to watch at home. But I just want to say on behalf of the club and behalf of the cricket department as well, thank you. Really appreciate you coming out and supporting the team, and it kind of helps to show the ECB that, you know what, the county championship is alive and well in the north, and particularly in Lancashire. So thank you for that. So without further ado, we're going to move on to tonight's cricket forum, and I just want to introduce the panel. So we've got Dane Villas, our captain. We've got Glenn Chappell, head coach. Ellie Threakold, our ladies captain, and David Thorley, our regional director of women's cricket, who are going to be the main panel tonight. If there are other questions, then we do have Lee Morgan, Mark Chilton, and myself off to the side who can answer questions. But today, as I say, is primarily a cricket forum. As you know, we do have an important members forum on the 19th, which I hope you can all attend. But in the meantime, I think we're going to kick off with perhaps Glenn, if you want to start and just give a bit of a review on where we're up to with the season so far and how you feel today. Or you can do it from there, that's fine.
Yeah, obviously since I last spoke at a members forum, quite a lot of cricket's gone by, and I think we feel that we've played some really good stuff throughout the season. Obviously made the final of the Blast through some quality cricket through the group phases, faced some challenges along the way with England series, 2 England series going on at the same time and losing players, but I think we started that campaign superbly well. We're affected a little bit by England selections and injuries, but came through it strongly and made the final. Obviously really disappointing not to get over the line, but a close game that can go either way, but ultimately a good campaign that we're pleased with performances along the way. Just gone the RL50. Really exciting to see some of our younger players who sometimes have to fight for places given a chance. A really excellent campaign in that and resulting in us qualifying for the final at Trent Bridge in about a week and a half's time, so something really big to look forward to there. Some of the performances in that, if you look at, I think I've got some notes there, but you know, Rob Jones making 300 runs at 85, probably 5 batters averaging 40 plus on top of that, 3 leading seamers, Liam Hurt, superb campaign, another player who doesn't often make the first team, showing what he can do, and obviously Tom Bailey and Will Williams with great stats throughout the comp. And the championship, I think we're currently sitting 3rd position. Obviously we've had a up and down day today, brilliant opening stand, and then the ball started to do a little bit later on, which, you know, I think for the rest of the game is probably a positive. If it keeps doing something, might give us a chance to force a result. Currently sitting 3rd position, as I'm sure you all know. I think the quality of cricket we've played throughout the summer, I think we could rightly hope to be higher than where we are, but Surrey have played some excellent cricket, and every time we've done well, they seem to do well, but still quite a lot to fight for there. Again, we've got our top 6 batters averaging 40 plus. Keaton's probably nearly averaging 80 with another 100 today. Some really strong performances throughout, and in a year where it's been difficult for bowlers. Our new signing, Will Williams, has taken 20-odd wickets at 19, and Tom Bailey, our ever-present, I think he's got 39 at 25. So all round, I think some excellent performances from the lads, showing real hunger to fight for a cause, fight for all three competitions. I think we're quite proud that we're probably one of the few counties who are managing to mount good campaigns in all formats. And yeah, I think there's plenty of energy left in the squad for the remaining 3 weeks of the season, 3 or 4 weeks of the season, and hopefully we can keep pressing on and see where we can get to. Obviously, in a season like this, we all want silverware and want to win something. But I think if we look at the development of the squad as a whole, we've got young players coming through who've done really well. We've also got players performing really well for the under-19s. George Bell made 100. Hursty got 100 last week. So we can see a group of players coming through who are going to be successful for us in the future. And the age range of the current squad is looking really good. So, you know, from my perspective as coach, I think it's really positive. And obviously at this stage, we're just looking forward to the remaining games of the season to make sure we finish strong.
No, I think Chappie said everything there exactly true. You know, I think from a player's perspective, we, you know, really pride ourselves that we have been performing in all three competitions. We know a club like this, we need to be performing in those competitions. We want to win as many games as we can. And I think we've done that consistently throughout the whole season. So we are fighting for, you know, the One Day Cup coming up, which is going to be a big game for everybody, and everybody is really excited for that. And then obviously fighting for the championship, which we were obviously bitterly disappointed at the way it ended last year. But I think that consistency throughout the whole season and throughout the last couple of years has been really good, and it was what we sort of look for as players. As Chappie mentioned as well, we've got a good age range coming through. Guys are fighting for spots throughout the whole way, the whole squad, and the squad is at a really good stage at the moment. So very, very happy, and I just think if we can just keep doing what we're doing, there's going to be a point in the future soon where titles will come and we will get those sort of opportunities to fight for silverware again and fill up that cabinet a bit more.
Certainly. I need my notepad, not as fluent as Chappie. So yeah, it's been another fantastic season for the world of women's cricket. It's constantly evolving. So year upon year, it's a changing picture which we've got to adapt to, which is great. The ECB are looking at speeding up their professionalisation from their end, which is great. Comes a lot more investment, hopefully more professional players and more staff to support that as well, along with increasing fixtures. I'm proud to say Lancashire are leading the way as well with investment on our side and a very supportive staff and board to help us here. Just a few points I scribbled down there of we've brought in an overseas player. The only one to bring in such a high caliber player as Deandra Dottin, truly world-class player, which helps a lot of our young players develop, as well as her on-field contribution, really does help the players off the field, how to prepare, how to deal with game situations. We brought in an extra professional contract with Phoebe Graham. We had our first ever pre-season tour with the men's team. All went out to Dubai, which has put us in a great position for the season ahead. And also, we've gone over and above what the ECB include with their funding of we're paying our pay-as-you-play players an hourly rate to train. For a lot of these players, they're doing educational work elsewhere. We've got a player who works in McDonald's, for example, and to balance training is quite a demand. So really pleased that the club are supporting them to go ahead and train. And for some of these players, we've only had one full winter training, so the way it's going is really exciting, but I'm really thankful for the contribution the club are making so far. In terms of the season, I'll pass on to Ellie in a second as well for her thoughts, but we've got 3 fixtures to go, all in the 50-over Rachel Hayo-Flint competition, including our final match here at Emirates Old Trafford. So hopefully we're still discussing that fixture as it stands. No other ground has hosted more women's elite domestic fixtures as well, which I think is a fantastic statement for us to make. And something we want to continue pushing in future, and I'm sure put Daniel on the spot. We'll keep working on as well. And in terms of the makeup of the team as well, this is something important to us, that we want the spine of the team to be local, homegrown players. And most of the players are. We'll be bringing in, of course, the occasional player from other teams, perhaps, if they're going to improve us as a team. But we're really proud that we focus on bringing young local players through. We are a young team, and there's a lot of development still to happen there, but it puts us in a great place to continue an upwards trajectory. And from my perspective, and speaking on behalf of Paul Shaw as well, we've been a lot more competitive in more games this year. Looking at the percentages, we're slightly down from last year, actually, only slightly. But we're not getting well beaten, for example. We're in games. We're frustrated to lose a few. So we're really happy where we're going this year and pushing on again into next year. Hopefully it'll be a strong finish. So I'll pass on to Ellie just to reflect on the season from her perspective. And again, first year as captain.
Yeah, I guess David's probably said it all there. Our win ratio has been a bit down this year. And yeah, we've not won as many games as we'd have liked, but like David said, I think we've been really competitive in most of them games. And from a player's point of view, like, we're a completely different team from last year. Same set of girls, but with a winter full time behind them. Yeah, we're a different team and we're competing in a lot of games, and we've played some really good cricket, some really good passages of play and some glimpses of brilliance, but we're not just not doing it for long enough periods of time, and that's obviously something we're looking to work on. And I'm really excited about where this group can go with another full-time winter behind them, and maybe the occasional signing, and hopefully bringing back an overseas player again next year. So yeah, I'm really positive that the group's in a good place, and I believe with the support we've got here from Lancashire and the coaching staff we've got here, that we'll do really well next year.
Well, he'll be playing for England. He will, Glenn. I'm not speaking silly, I'm speaking sensible. He's such a very, very good cricketer. And the way he keeps it on the ground, that's the way to play cricket. You can't get caught then, you see. And please put Liam Hurt in, because he's a belting player. I've known him since he was a little lad down here. And he's up here now, he's built like a tank. And he's such a very, very good player, so please put him in, Glenn. We can't afford to lose him. I know he's only 28, but he's a magnificent cricketer. I've known him all my life. He's so good. You can't leave him out of the first team. Please put him in. He's my favourite. And please put Stephen Croft, give him another contract. He's played a season of his life. He's my local boy from Blackpool. Brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody.
It's recently been reported in the media that some counties' directors of cricket have suggested having no overseas players in the county championship. What's your view on that?
Chili's just sat over there. Well, I think you can take a couple of views, can't you? It depends, because it would free up more spaces for qualified English players. One thing, certainly signing overseas players at the moment is becoming more and more difficult, with issues around visas and the Future Tour programme being heavily clogged up, and availability of overseas players now is a 3, 4, 5, 6 week period, and then you're looking for another one. So it's not as easy as it used to be. In their favour, if you get high quality players coming in, then it raises the standard and it helps our own players develop in that regard, the opportunity to play against world class players. So I'm going to sit on the fence at the moment, because it really depends. I would never want to lose the opportunity of playing with world-class players, but if the talent is diluted enough for that not to be the case, then, and you can't get one for long enough to buy into what the team commits to, then you get less benefit from that. But I think at the moment we'd take a view on what's best for us. And right now we don't have an extra overseas player because there isn't one good enough available. We've got what we feel are better players playing for us than anybody out there who's available to play. A couple have come in for other counties in the last week, and we didn't feel there was one available that would benefit our cause. It's a tricky question, and you know, if there's a decision made en masse, then that's what you go with.
Regarding the upcoming cup final, the Lancs intend to stay loyal to the players who got us there, or will they consider all the players now available?
Well, obviously, you know, Kent have made some kind of statement on that. I've got a couple of different views, if I'm perfectly honest. We start this season with 23, 24 players committed to Lancashire's cause, and they're all still committed to that. It's been a really good group stage with players having an opportunity to perform, and you could argue that they've all earned the right to carry on and play the final. However, between now and then, we were pretty threadbare by the end of that competition, and we don't know 100% who's going to be fit for that final as yet. We want to win, and we want to create the best chance of winning whilst being fair to all players. So I think we can have the next few days to just take some time to think that through, because every player's circumstance is slightly different. We know we've got players playing for England who don't come back as much as they'd like and we'd like, but we've also got young players who've been away through that competition who are still inexperienced and would benefit from that opportunity. I certainly will be bearing in mind how well players have done during the competition, and wouldn't want players who've genuinely earned their right to play, I wouldn't want that taken away from them. But equally, you know, there may be a scenario where that doesn't need to happen and it's not exactly the same team. But we've got an obligation to our members and supporters to try and win as well, do it in the right way. We'll see how that looks in a week's time, I think. On the fence again.
I'm going to raise them at that session. Sorry. I'm going to raise them at that session if I can take the time off, or I'll have to do it by proxy, which is probably the most likely thing. But I know the cricket world's changing very, very quickly. And one thing that's been floated in various elements of the press is about franchising red ball cricket. Now, if what is Lancashire's position, I know it might be a tentative position at this point, and it might be an answer that you're not prepared to give because it's still not finalised, but in general terms, what's your view now on the idea, or would Lancashire support franchising the red ball game like they've done with the short format of the game?
I'll take that one. Yes, as you quite rightly say, we've got a members' forum on the 19th where we're expecting proposals from the ECB on the high performance review on the 9th, although I've apparently been told they might want the weekend to top and tail it, why they need the weekend to top and tail it, so it might be the 12th. I'm still pushing for it to be the 9th. The 19th we've got the meeting, and we've said that if there is a proposal actually that requires a vote of chairs on the 20th, then we will provide a vote to members. At the moment, I genuinely have no idea whether there is going to be any proposal requesting a change to the domestic schedule in 2023. I genuinely don't, even after I've been to a couple of meetings. Not a lot of consensus. When you try and get 18 people in a room and try and get them all agreeing on something, it's not been the most straightforward thing. So I don't know, but I think what we have committed to is if there is a proposed change to the schedule in 2023, which requires 12 out of 18 chairs to vote on the 20th, then we will obviously bring those proposals forward to the members for a vote. In terms of your specific question on franchising red ball cricket, which I think is something that Kevin Peterson has talked about, I can confirm that Lancashire Cricket does not support the franchising of red ball cricket. You know, we support 18 counties and we support Lancashire County Cricket Club playing in the county championship. So, you know, the idea of Lancashire County Cricket Club not playing in the county championship when, you know, we've won, you know, we recently won in 2011 the first title ever in 77 years, which was amazing. And actually tomorrow at 12:30 in the tunnel below here, we're remembering a chap called Peter Eckersley, who was the only Lancashire cricketer to die in the Second World War, who actually won 2 titles as captain in the 1920s. It's important to us in our history and heritage, the county championship. So the idea of Lancashire County Cricket Club not being part of the county championship doesn't have any support from the club. So that I can tell you now, the club does not support franchising of red ball cricket. I think what is a different question, and you'd have to ask them rather than us, is do all 18 counties have an appetite for the cost and the investment and the time of playing in the county championship? I don't know the answer to that. If I was guessing, I would say that if three or four of them might say in the future that it's too much for them. But that's a different point to the one that you ask, which was specifically, does Lancashire support franchising of red ball cricket? And it doesn't. Okay, do we have any last questions for the panel? Well, thank you again. Really appreciate your time today, and let's come out and support. And tell your friends as well. Please come out and support the team tomorrow. They really, you know, want it, and they really appreciate it when the members come out and watch in force like they've done today. And let's get behind the team and get a big win against our Roses rivals. Thank you.